Okay, so last class we were looking into some of the shortcuts. I believe which how many shortcuts we have done? Two shortcuts or three? Three shortcuts. Okay. So what was the first shortcut? Super shortcut. Okay. So suppose if you are working with this tool called Eclipse, you want to see all the shortcuts which are available in your. If you want to see all the shortcuts available in your Eclipse, then what is shortcut? Control Shift L. Okay. So Control Shift L. So whenever you do Control Shift L, automatically it will pop up with all the shortcuts which are available. Okay. So if you'll see here, there are many shortcuts which are available, but we will not use all the shortcuts. We will be using some of the popular shortcuts. Okay, which we are seeing. Based on the uses, I have shortlisted almost 15 to 20 shortcuts which we will be doing in today or tomorrow's classes. Okay, so we'll try to wrap it up in today's class, but if remaining we'll do tomorrow's class. So yeah, so what is super shortcut? Control Shift L is a super shortcut. Now second shortcut was if you want to create the project. So what is shortcut? Alt Shift L. Okay, so if you want to create project here, Alt Shift L, if you do, automatically your sorry, N. Okay, so Alt Shift N, if you do, automatically it will come here and you can choose. Suppose I want to create a project, I can create this Java project. You can give the name something like today is second class, right? Second example. Second example. Next, then finish. So what does that mean? You created one new project called second example. Okay, so similarly whenever you want to create a project, what you do? Alt Shift N. Okay, so this is the one. Hello, hey Kiran. Yeah. Yeah, Kiran. I'm in the middle of something. I'm meeting. I'll call you back. Okay, I'll save your number. I'll give you a call. Yeah. So, what is the second shortcut to create a project? What is the one? Alt Shift N. So all of you have downloaded this software and installed in your machine. You are having, right? Nila, you are having Eclipse. Okay. You work with C++, right? Okay. So yeah, you for install the software, Eclipse you installed. Eclipse you installed in your laptop. Yeah, Eclipse you installed. Okay. Because if you will not install, then you cannot practice those shortcuts, right? So yeah, now this one of the shortcut which we will see called formatting. Okay, what is shortcut? Format. So what is the format? Let's go over there. Suppose I want to run this code. Okay, this one. So what is our entry point in C++ code? Int main or void main. In Java, what is your entry point? Public static void main. Okay, so if you want to write public static void main, no need to write something like this. Public, okay, static void main. Typically this is the syntax which we write. Okay, and what is the parameter which we pass here? String, and we will have this something like args. So this is the typical way how we write. Now we are having Eclipse, then NetBeans, other softwares are there. When we used to write, when we started our career, okay, so that time there was no all those things. We used to write in Notepad only. From Notepad we will compile the code and we'll push it into wherever we need. Okay, so that time we used to write in our old days. Okay, but these days what we do, no need to do all those things. Here only, if you want to write your main method, very simple, just type main, MAIN, then control space. What is shortcut? Control space. So control space is one of the important thing which we use. Okay, so control space, just yeah, that's all. See, within 2 or 3 steps I am able to get my main method. Okay, no need to write public static. Again, we'll study what does public, static, all those things while going through. Okay, so how I have done, tell me. MAIN. Okay, control space, choose the first one, that's all. So this is the way I will get your name. Okay, so yeah, so this is your, so what is this main method? Main method is nothing but the entry point of your project. Okay, so now let's go back to our C++ code. How will you print something in your console? In C, printf, right? If you want to print something in your C++, C out. Okay, in Java, how to print? How to system.out.println. Okay, so typically how will you write the code? System.out.println. So this is the way how we write the code. Okay, and we'll write something like hello. So this is the typical way how we write. Okay, but if you know the shortcut, then no need to write complete thing. Okay, so how will you write the code? See here, I want to write system.out.println. So how I'll do? SYSO. What is the shortcut? SYSO. Just do control space, automatically this one will come up basically. Okay, no need to write the complete statement, you just need to write SYSO, control space, automatically it will come up over there. Okay, so this is your first shortcut. So SYSO, control space. Then if you want to print something like hello. Now if I run this code, what should be the output in console? Hello should come. Okay, so let's run this code. Yeah, hello. Now how to run the code in Eclipse? Control F11. Control F11 to run a code. So control F11 to run the code. Okay, yeah, now try to understand. I mean, so suppose if I write the code like this, will people be able to understand? No. Why? We are writing system somewhere, out somewhere, println somewhere. All these statements should be in the same line typically. I mean then it would be more readable. I mean, people will be able to read those. I mean, whatever things we are adding. Okay, so now this is not well formatted code. We say this is not well formatted. Now if you want to make it well format, we are having one of shortcut called Control Shift F. What is the one? Control Shift F. F to format. So if I will do Control Shift F, what will happen? It will become your well formatted code. Okay, so what is shortcut? Control Shift F. So this is your second shortcut which I was showing here. Control Shift F. Whenever you are stuck, go to your super shortcut. Control Shift L. Okay, Control Shift L will give you. Sorry, where I am going. Control Shift L. So somewhere down the line they might have mentioned. I mean, there are many shortcuts. We will not be able to go through those, but yeah, somewhere they will mention. So Control Shift F to format your code. So this is your second one which you have studied. Now third one is single line comment. What is single line comment? What is single line comment? Suppose I am writing something. Okay, so something like first let's try to discuss what is comment. What is a comment? Comments are non-executable code in your file basically. So comments are non-executable code in our source file. Then why we use those comments? So that people will refer those comments basically. Okay, you are writing the code, somebody else will use your code. So they will not be knowing why you have written that method, why you have written those variables. But it is best practice, if you give the comment, then new people will be able to understand those very easily. Okay, so now how to give comment? I mean, it is exactly same as C++ only. So how to give the comment? We just write /. Okay, and here I write comment. This is comment. Got it, right? So this is the way how we comment the code, and this is called single line comment. If you want to do multi-line comment, how we do? We do slash star, and wherever you want to finish, star slash. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go to this place. Suppose I have got, this is the line which I want to comment it. So how to comment? Control forward slash. Control forward slash. So control forward slash is used to comment one line, single line comment basically. Okay. Now if you want to make it uncomment, same control forward slash only. So tell me, this is commented or uncommented? Commented code. I want to make it uncomment. Then what you do? Same control forward slash. It will become uncommented. So it will toggle basically. If it is commented, it will become uncommented. If it is uncommented, it will become commented. Okay. So this is about your single line comment. Now let's try to do some sort of multi-line comment. So how to do multi-line comment? Suppose if I am making many lines over there, we are writing here, and I want to multi-line comment. So what I have to do? I have to write something like forward slash star, and wherever I want to end, I'll go over there and we'll do forward slash. This is the way how we do multi-line comment. Okay. So, but it would be difficult if your lines are too much, right? So what should do? No need to do all the things. Just select the line, whichever you want to do. Control shift forward slash. In earlier case we are using only control forward slash. Here control forward slash. In this case what you use? Control shift forward slash. Control shift forward slash. It will do multi-line comment. If you want to uncomment, then control shift backward slash. Okay, just select those lines. Control shift backward slash. It will uncomment. Okay. So control shift forward slash, control shift backward slash. And again, don't try to mug it up, okay? Because you cannot mug it up. So many shortcuts are there. So better practice it. If you practice more, automatically it will come with your fingers, okay? Otherwise, if you go home and you will start doing all those, control shift forward slash, control shift backward slash, okay? Because we used to do, when I, to be honest, I have done, okay? So from my experience, I am telling you cannot mug it up all those things. So because we are having many shortcuts, almost thousands of shortcuts are there. So practice, more you practice, more you will all those things will come in your fingers only, okay? So automatically it will come out. Okay, yeah. Now let's try to go to the fourth one. What is the fourth one? Import. What does import means? What does import means? Any idea? Import. What is importing? Any idea? Okay, so try to understand. Suppose yesterday's class or last class we have studied what is package. What is package? Package is nothing but folder structure of your code. Okay, suppose if you have got one of the class called, you are having one of the package called com.animal. What does dot means? New folder, basically new directory. Okay, so inside this, suppose you are having one of the class called maybe animal. Okay, and you are having one of the more class called folder called com.cat, where you are having one of those class called cat. Okay, now suppose inside animal, here in your same folder, if you are having one class called dog, just for example purpose I am giving basically. So inside animal package, how many classes are there? 2 class, animal and dog. Inside cat, which all classes are there? Cat. Okay, suppose animal wants to use dog. Now as both of those are belonging to the same package, so no need to import it. But if animal wants to use cat, which belongs to the other package, then he cannot use cat directly. What he will do? He will have to import the package basically. Okay, so we'll try to do the same example over here. So let's try to go over there in our Eclipse, and we'll try to create one package. Okay, so I'll just close it. The first one will close. We'll work with the hello world only. Okay, so suppose I want to create one package called com.animal. What is the another package which we want to create? com.cat. Okay, inside animal, what all class are there? Animal and dog. Okay, so we'll go here and create class animal. What is the another class? Dog. There are two classes, animal and dog. And what is the other package? Cat, where I want to create one of the class called cat. Okay, yeah. Now what I told, if animal will use dog, do we need to import? No. Why? Because both are in the same package. So let's try to go here. I'll try to use dog here. So I'll just type dog something like this, no? So new dog. Okay. We'll discuss about all those new and other stuff. For time being, just ignore all those things. So what I'm doing, dog equal to new dog. Now am I importing anything? No, I'm not importing. Okay, but if I will try to use cat inside animal, do I need to import? Yes. Why? Because cat is not under our package, it is coming from some other package, right? So what happens over there? Let's try to do this cat. As soon as I will do cat, automatically, see, as soon as I will do cat, automatically some statements are coming. See, this is coming up, right? This is called import. Why it is coming? Because both are not in the same package. Okay, both are belonging to the different package. So whenever you have the combination of multiple package, you must have to import it basically, no? Something like cat equal to new cat. If you forgot to import it, then what will happen? It will not compile, your code will not compile. Okay, so what is the problem? It will say, you can go to the leftmost side and it will tell you what is the problem. Cat cannot be resolved to a type. Okay, now if you want to make it, you have to import it basically. Okay, so now suppose now we are working with cat. Tomorrow I am having horse, and many things are there. I mean, in my class there are thousands of classes. Now how to import? I have to move my cursor, and what to do? You have to just click on this import. This is the way how we import. Okay, while going through in your class, you might have thousands of import. Is it a good idea to move your cursor and import? You have to do 1,000 times, right? Are you able to understand? So it will be very headache for you. I mean, if somebody has given you a task, okay, full day will go in importing only. Are you able to understand? So this is not a good way. I mean, going each and every place and importing it. Okay. So instead of this, we are having one shortcut called Control-Shift-O. What is shortcut? Control-Shift-O. It will automatically import basically. Okay, let's try Control-Shift-O. See, automatically it imported. So it's not about only one import. If you are having thousands of imports, it will automatically import in your file.
A number of classes are there, and I press Control-Shift
Oh,
doing all the
correct. It will do automatically.
If we want the selected one, then there are 50 and we want 20 to
20. Then you have to move your cursor. I mean, wherever you want to.
Manually.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Manually you have to do. Okay. If you are having conflict, I mean something like this cat class might be in different package, then it will automatically tell you that which cat you want to select, this one or this one. I mean we might have same class in different package, right? I mean I can have cat class in multiple packages, then which cat you want to use it, then it will tell you. I mean during conflict it will tell you the pop-up. I mean yeah, so which one you want to use, from there you can select, I mean whichever you want to have.
And the package used to be in a form or another form.
Anything you can have. It's
The
not
format is same or anything can be?
anything can be. Okay, but typically I mean we use com dot, because I mean if you are working for any of the company, right, so their domain will start from, I mean domain resolution we do in your, I mean in your college you might have studied, right? Okay, so what we do, we start from the innermost, then we keep on going, right? So com is the last one, so we write first, then com dot, if you are working for some IIM India, so com dot IIM India dot something will be there. Okay, so, but again it is not mandatory. Okay, so if you want to have any other thing you can have it, it's not mandatory. Yeah, yes. So if you want to have some sort of thing, something like if you want to create Nilay packet, something like, okay, it's like Nilay dot something like home, no problem, you can create it. But it is best practice to start with com, because it's not like, because people do that, so we follow that only, so it's not mandatory. Okay, so this is the one. Now let's try to. So this is your shortcut, which is the one important. So important. This document you can refer. I will share the link also. But whichever are 3 stars, you should know always. Other things you can ignore. I mean, later point of time you can understand. But those 3 stars, whichever will show, those you must know. Okay. Now let's go to the 5th one, Javadoc. What is Javadoc? What is Javadoc? Javadoc is similar to the comment only. Okay, by which what will happen, if new people is there, if you are using some class called cat, why you have used cat class we don't know. I mean you might not be knowing. Okay, you will be knowing because you are writing the code, but the person who is looking into your code, he will be knowing, he doesn't know, right? We don't know, I mean whether he will be knowing or not. Okay, so now what we should do, it is best practice, whenever you are writing the code you should put the Javadoc comments also. Then what will happen, new people will be easier to understand. So how to do Javadoc comment? Very simple. Go to your, suppose this is a cat class, I want to put Javadoc comment, then click on the class. You should do Alt Shift J. What you should do? Alt Shift J. Automatically the comment will be coming with author. This Tapas came from my PC name only, because my PC name is Tapas. Okay, it came over there. And if you want to write something like this class is used for blah blah blah, I mean you can write all the comments, whatever you want. Then now new people will come, suddenly he will see that Javadoc comment, yeah, this class is used for this, then he will be able to understand your code. Otherwise it will be very difficult to understand. Okay, similar to this, suppose you are having one of the method here, something like maybe barking. So you are so what is the method name we are writing? Barking. Now new person will not be knowing why barking is getting used, right? So you want to put some Javadoc comment. What you do, very simple, select over there, Alt Shift J, automatically it will come up. Okay, and you can write here. Okay, so this is the way to blah blah blah, whatever you want to write, you can write here. Then people will be able to understand it. Okay, one interesting thing about is, try to understand, suppose I am having some parameter called int number of legs. Okay, and it is returning some integer value also. How to return something? We use return integer statement. Okay, now if we will create this particular Java doc, then see how it is coming. It will automatically pick your return and params. What is params? Params is nothing but what parameter we are passing here. And what is this return? Return is nothing but what you are writing. Okay, something like here you can say it returns, I mean anything. So some calculation you want to write. So calculate it. Some sort of thing you can write. Then people will be able to understand it in better way. Okay, so very simple. You just go and what is the shortcut? Alt Shift J. J for Java. So this is your Java doc command, which we are going on. Now let's try to go to the backward history. Okay, so there are two type of backward history. One backward history, you want to see the recent change which you have done. Okay, one backward history is something like you are working with your code now, it is not working, but yesterday it was working. Yesterday at 5 p.m. it was working. Now it is not working, but yesterday it was working. Then what you have to do? You have to go to the backward, one day backward, right? Okay, so that also we can do. So how will you do in your Eclipse? Very simple. Open your Eclipse, okay, and go over there, click on the file which you want to see the backward history, or right click you do. Okay, here you will find one of the option called replace with or compare with. Anyone you can choose. If you want to replace with, you will find one of the option called local history. Click on this. It will give you full history of your file. Full history of your file. Today we started at 6:32, so this file was not there yesterday. Otherwise, I could be able to see yesterday's code also. Okay. Now, how to compare? Just double click it. Automatically, it will give you the comparison of both the files. When it was started, local history 6:32, nothing was there, but now we are having all those things. Got it, right? So very simple. How will you see your backward history? Click on the file, right click, replace with or compare with, depending upon your requirement. Compare with when you will use if you don't want to replace, you just want to compare. Okay, if you want to replace, then replace with, then local history, choose where you want to replace. Suppose I want to go to the 6:34 time, just replace. Then what will happen? It will become your 6:34. So it became your 6:34. How it was? Got it, right? So this is one of the things you should know. Okay, but if you want to see little bit earlier where you have done change, then what you can use? You can use Alt left arrow. What the one? Alt left arrow. Alt left arrow. Alt left arrow. It will keep on going previous wherever you have done changes. Alt left arrow. Yeah. So there will be 3 arrows, right? One will be top, up, down, left, right in your keyboard basically. Okay. You can use left arrow to go to the previous. If you want to go to the next, then Alt right arrow. Alt right arrow. See, and keep on going wherever I have done some changes in my code. Or else you can use this one also. Here we are having one arrow, right? So you can choose this. This one you can choose. It will keep on going. Right? And then to go to the next. Instead of clicking, you can use this keyword Alt left and Alt right. This is your backward history. Okay. Now move to the 7th shortcut. What is the 7th one? You close a particular file. Okay. So I want to close the file name called cat. So there are multiple ways to close it. One of the way, how will you close? Go over there, close like this. Second way, how will you close? Go to the mid of it and press your, in mouse you have one scroller, right? So you can press that scroller, that is also fine. You will close it. Okay. Third way, if you want to close it, then you can use Control W. In your keyboard you can use Control W, it will close it. Fourth one, Control F4. Anyways, Control F4 also. So these are the 4 ways to close a particular file. F4. So better, I mean, it is upon the person to person vary. Okay, I usually use Control W because both will be easy. I mean, you can use these fingers. Control W, Control W, Control W. Control F4 you have to do like this. Control F4. It is far from your fingers. Okay. So it is, again, it is based on the practice how people will use. So something like I will show you. Control W is easy to use. Control W. Control W. Okay, so this is about to close a particular file. Control W is a shortcut. And again, even if you don't know the shortcuts, you will be able to code. But if you know the shortcut, you can do the things in less amount of time. So you can fasten your work basically. Yeah. Now, suppose I want to close all the 3 files. I mean, not 3 files. If I am in many files, suppose hundreds of files are there. I cannot do something Control W, Control W, Control W. Now we are having 3, so it is easy. But if I am in 100 files, I have to do Control W, Control W, Control W 100 times. Is it good way? No. It will be tough for you, right? So in that case, what you can do is Control Shift F4. What to do? Control Shift F4. It will close all the files. Okay. So if I do Control Shift F4, see, all the files are getting closed. It's not about individual file. So Control Shift F4 to close all the files. Now 8th one is to exit from the Eclipse. So this is common shortcut. If suppose I am having this file in my Windows, I want to exit from this, I want to close this. How will you close? Alt F4, right? So Alt F4 will close it. This is Windows shortcut. Now if I am over here in my Eclipse, where is our Eclipse? I want to close Eclipse, Alt F4. Alt F4. Automatically Eclipse will pop up some sort of message that confirm exit. You want to really exit from the Eclipse? Yes or no? Okay, so this is the one. I mean, if you want to close your Eclipse only, then Control F4. This one we have already seen close all the files. What to do? Control Shift F4. So suppose if you are having some change, I mean, see here. Suppose I will do some change here. I am having some change in this file. Sorry, I am having some change in this file. Then if I will do Control Shift F4, it will automatically tell you, do you want to save your change or not? If you want to save, then yes. If you don't want to save, then no. If you don't want to close all the files, then cancel. These are the 3 options which are there. So this is something like positive button, negative button and neutral button. Okay. So if I click on yes, then it will save it and close it. Okay. Now let's try to go to this class, and I want to write one of the method called something like private void test. What is my method name? Test is my method name. Okay. Now, can you tell me, can we call this method from main? Can we call this method from main? Yes or no? Got it? What my question is? I want to call this method something like I want to print something here. Okay, so test method. Can I call this test method inside main? Sure. Can we call it? Let's try to call it. Okay. So I will write test. Am I able to call? No. There is some problem. What is the problem? Any idea? Anybody can explain? What is the problem? Private. Yeah, private is fine, no? Because we can call all the private things inside your class. I mean, private stuffs cannot be exposed to outside class, but inside class I will be able to call it. So private is not a problem. Any other problem which are having? Importing, but class should be imported. I mean, method is okay. So because in C++, what to do? You have to declare that what method you are having on the top, right? So in Java, nothing like this. Without declaring, also you can use it. Duplicacy? Where? No, yeah. This is calling and this is the called method. So duplicate is not a problem. Okay. So try to understand. I mean, in Java, one very simple concept which will come into picture. We'll study while going through. Okay. So try to understand this concept. Okay. So static method can call only static items. Okay, static method can call only static items. Okay, non-static can call anything. Okay, so if you go to this particular method, tell me main is static method or non-static? It is a static method. Now static can call only static items, but what is happening with test? Is test is static? No. So if you want to be called, then what you have to do? You have to make it static. Then you will be able to call it. So static can call only static. Now if I run this code, then we will get the output called test method. Before that, our code was not compiling. No? Similar to this, suppose I am having one more method called private, okay, void trial. What is the method name? Trial. So tell me, trial is static or non-static? Non-static. Can it call test?
Non-static can call anything.
Non-static can call anything. So can it call test? Yes, no problem. Because it is non-static, right? Non-static will call anything. So let's try to write it test. See, no problem. Okay. So what I'm to say, test cannot call trial because static trial can call test. Okay. So this is the way how we will do. Again, it is not related only to the method which I told here, items. Item means everything. Okay. If you are having some variable on the top, okay, suppose int, okay, so static variable. Suppose I am initializing with 100. Okay, I am making it to static. And what is the another one? Non-static equal to 1000. Okay. Now let's try to understand. Can I call this static here? Here? Yes, I can call inside. Why? Because static can call static. Can I call non-static here in this method? No, I cannot call it. Let's try to call it. And if I write non-static equal to maybe, am I able to do? No. Why? Because static cannot call non-static. Okay. Now, can I call non-static here? Here can I call it? No, again. Why? Because it is static. So static cannot call non-static. If I'll go here, can I call here? Yes, no problem. No problem. Okay, can I write static here? I mean, in the last one, can I write? Yes, no problem. Why? Because non-static will count both. Okay, yeah. Now let's go back to our original place where what we are doing. We are dealing with your change the method signature. So before going to change the method signature, let's try to understand what does signature mean. So what is a signature of a method? So typically, I mean, what is the signature? Signature means we give some sort of sign somewhere, right? And this sign typically does not change. It changes hardly. I mean, maybe you were in school, then you went to college, you change your signature. That is different, okay? But typically we don't change. Similarly, the signature of the method which hardly changes. I mean, it does not change all the time, basically. Right? So, what signature contains is first is called access modifier. What is the one? Access modifier. We'll see. I mean, what are access modifiers? So, what are the access modifiers? Tell me. Private. Okay. Then protect. Default. Default is one of the one which we'll see. Protected. And what is the last one? These are the access modifiers of a method. Signature will contain return type also. What is a return type? Return type means what is the output of your method. Okay. Typically, return type will be some sort of data types. Data types. What all data types are there? We will study while going through. But for timing, you can think about something like int, okay, float, double, okay, or else I mean object also. You can return some object also. We'll see while going through. Right. If you don't have any return type, what you do? What you do? Void. If you don't have a return type, what you do? Void. I mean, in this case, we are doing void only. See, we are having return type as void. Okay. Your third thing is called non-access modifier. What are those non-access modifiers? Something like static, the one which we are looking into that now. Okay. Then final we will see while going through. Okay. Then strict FP is one of the ones. Strict FP. Okay. Volatile. Volatile is non-access modifier which we will study while going through. Okay. Transient is one of the non-access modifier we will see. So these are the example of your non-access modifier. Okay. Okay. So signature will contain this also. And what is the third and fourth one will contain? Method name. What is the method name? It will contain. Okay, so here what is the method name? Test is my method. Okay, and signature contains your parameters also. Parameters of arguments. Now we will see what are the difference. But for time being, you can tell parameters or. Okay, so your signature contains all those things. So tell me, is this one a signature? Private is a signature? Yes, because it is an access modifier. Okay. Now, if I want to change the signature of this method, I mean, I don't want to have private. I want to make it protected. Okay. Then we are having one of the method shortcut by which you can change the signature of your method. What is shortcut? Alt Shift C. Alt Shift C. So go to the method Alt Shift C. Automatically this one will come. Okay. And what you want to do, if you want to make it protected, you just make it protected. Okay, that's all. It will automatically become protected. See, it becomes protected. If you want to change the signature, Alt Shift C. If I want to change the method name, I want to make it to, anything. Trial 1. Okay. Then what will happen? It will become like this. So it became. Now one thing to be noticed, what happened over here is, it didn't only change here, it changed here also. So this is the advantage of this. Okay. It will not change only in your method. If you are having reference to all throughout your project, suppose 1000 references are there, it will automatically change in all the 1000 places. Okay. To understand it, see, suppose if I have got many drivers, suppose these many references are there. If you want to change in all the place, what do you do? Alt Shift C. I want to make it to something else. Maybe I want to make it to test. Okay. And then what will happen? It becomes test. So it's not about one place. It will change in all the places where we are having reference. Okay, so what is shortcut? Alt Shift C is the shortcut. Now, if you want to copy some, if you want to copy some line, if you want to copy a line, okay, so typically we are having one shortcut called Control Alt Down. Okay, suppose I want to copy these lines, but in your Dell laptop, if I will do Control Alt Down, what happened? Control Alt Down. What happened? My screen is rotated. Okay, so it does not work here. In some of the laptops, but yeah, we are having some alternatives. So what you can do just Alt Down. What is shortcut? Alt Down. If I will keep on doing Alt Down, see, it will keep on coming. See, if you want to make it up, Alt Up. You select the line, press Alt, then make it up or down. Automatically it will do that. If you want to make it to very top, see, I can move it to somewhere. Wherever you want. Got it, right? So Alt up or Alt down, and it will. Correct. Right. Not copy, cut. Okay. So because if we can do cut also, but problem is, you will not be able to see exactly the runtime. If I'll put where, what will happen. Okay. But if we'll do like this, then you will be able to get the this step. No, below that. You will be able to think in that way basically. Okay, Alt up or Alt down. Let's move to the 12th shortcut. What is the 12th shortcut? Delete line. Okay. So suppose I want to delete this line, then many people will have their own way to delete it. Okay. So new people, how they will delete? They will do something like back. Okay. Few intelligent people, what they will do? They will select it and they will do like this. This is one other way. Okay. But if you are expert in shortcut, then you won't do all those things. You do Control D. Control D, which will delete your line. Control D to delete. Okay, but again I am telling, if you want to know anything else, Control Shift L. Somewhere down the line they will tell Control D means delete. So which is super shortcut. Okay, any line you want to do it, Control D. Control D will delete that line. So where are we? we are over here. Okay, we'll do these two, these three, and we'll finish for the day. We'll wrap it up for the day. Okay. Yeah. Now next, how to find next? Suppose this is your one test one. You want to find the next. Then how we do here? Control F, right? We do test one, then we do find next. We will keep on doing. Okay. But problem here is what is happening. This particular pop-up is coming up, which might create problem, and if something is there, you might miss. So what you should do, very simple. Select this. Control K. Control K will go to the next find. So if I do Control K, see Control K, Control K, Control K, Control K, Control K, Control K, to keep on.
And then you have to select the particular word.
Correct. Which word you want to search and you want to find. So Control K to go to the next one. If you want to go to the previous one, then Control Shift K. Only just include Shift, it will become Control Shift K. Control Shift K, Control Shift K, Control Shift K, Control Shift K, Control Shift K. Control Shift K will go to the previous, and Control K will go to the next. Control K, Control K, Control K, Control Shift K. Okay. So these are the 15th one is what is the one? Go to the line number. Okay. So suppose suppose we are having this code is very lengthy code, maybe 142 line number. Okay. And someone told you that go to line number 130, there is some problem. Then how you have to go? You have to search like this, right? To go, what is 130, you might cross again, where is 130, you will keep on searching, right? It will be very difficult for you to go to that line number. Okay, but no need to do all those things. What you can do, you just have to use one of the shortcut called Control L for line. Okay, so if I will do Control L, I will pass the line number. I want to go to the line number 130. Okay, you are at line number 130. I want to go to the line number 10. Control L, 1010. So from wherever you want to go to the any line number, just you have to press Control L. I want to go to the line number 50. You will be into any number. Okay. So these are shortcuts which we have studied. We are remaining on 6 or 7 shortcuts. We will do that. Then we will start our basic concept. Basic concepts of your core Java. Okay. So yeah, you can follow the PPT which we are sharing. Okay. Or else you can follow this Java T point. So in your here you can go to Java T point. This is the one which you will follow. Okay. And if you know your core Java little earlier, then what you can do, you can follow that book which is already shared with you in your shared drive. So you can go over there in your shared drive. One of the book will be called Kathy. This one. Okay, SCJP book. SCJP. So you can go. This is very famous book. So we'll follow this. So wherever comfortable, if you are comfortable with the link, if you are a very beginner, then follow the Java T point link. If you know Java earlier, then follow this book. This is a very good book actually. SCJP. Okay, what does SCJP means? Sun Certified Java Programmer. Okay, so I'll suggest you. Earlier it was SCJP. Okay, when we used to do, this is Sun Certified Java Programmer. Okay, now there is no more SCJP. This is called OCJP, Oracle Certified Java Programmer. Why? Because Oracle has won. They had a fight with your Sun and they won. Okay, so now Oracle will give you the update of Java, not Sun. Okay, now what is the current version of your Java? 1.8. 8 or sometimes we say 8.0 or 1.8. Okay, So now this OCJP also comes in different versions. Okay. Now if you want to go for 1.8, it is also fine, but better because this is the new one, right? So you have to study too much. Okay. So what you can do, you can choose 1.6 or 7, both are okay. Okay. So I'll suggest you to go through this, but after completion of our course, you will be in a stage to, clear this test easily. And wherever you go for interview, if you are OCJP certified or SCJP certified, they give you the preference anywhere. Okay, so just go through the thing. Okay, if you will have any doubt, let me know. I'll guide you through on how to get this.
Those books are available on the
Share drive. Yeah, I'll share it.